Go.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of Squadron Talk. I am one of your hosts, Ben Mapes. With me, as usual, is my other host, John Medina. John, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Ben. How are you doing?
Oh, can't complain. What's been going on? Let's break some ice, okay?
Let's break some ice.
We got some cubes all around us. Let's break it up. How's your day, your week?
My week has been good, man. We just got done doing a Oathbreaker deck brew. Okay, so
Ooh.
somebody reached out to me on Twitter and said, "Hey, can we brew an Oathbreaker deck?" Because I've been talking about Oathbreaker nonstop on Twitter. And another thing I've been doing is I've been reaching out on social media a little bit more lately. Okay, so I'll tell you why. Okay, it's
Tell me why.
I'm going to tell you why, but I feel weird saying this. But I'm just going to say it. So, have you ever heard of this guy Gary Vaynerchuk?
I haven't. Tell me
You
more.
haven't? Okay, so he is a social media marketer or kind of online marketing guy. What he did is before he did a wine blog and then a wine vlog on
Oh
YouTube,
boy.
and it just took off. So he figured out how to do all this stuff. So I have always kind of been like, I knew of him, and I've always been kind of like, I kind of categorize him with like get rich quick people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Ty Lopez, who's that guy on YouTube who's always like shows up with this like really fancy car in his driveway or whatever. Anyways, I'm going way off the topic. So was talking to KYT, and KYT's like, dude, Vaynerchuk is pretty good. He's got good information. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to read one of these books by Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'm going to see what it has to say. So it's basically about social media, and now I'm starting to experiment with all kinds of things. I'm experimenting with the vlogging. I'm experimenting with different things on Twitter. And one of those things is it's like being more accessible. So like when somebody asks me, hey, do you want to brew a deck? I'm just like, yeah, let's just do it. You know, let's just break down a little bit of the lines from the social media standpoint and try to be more engaged. And so that's what I've been doing.
So you want to be more accessible to your fan base, more relatable. You don't want to be put up on that pillar that they look up to. You want to say, hey, I'm one of you guys.
I don't know if there's a pillar, and
There's a
I would not call them fans, but but I would say that people who are following my journey or my adventures, I want to be more accessible to them, and I want to kind of invite them in, and I'm trying to learn how to do that from these social media platforms. I think I'm pretty good at using Twitter. I've been using that for a really long time, so I have a pretty good, like, I'm comfortable with that. But like, for example, like I started using Snapchat today, and I don't know
Ooh.
I don't even know how to do that. I have no idea.
Well, you're about 20 years too old for that, is
I
what I
think
hear.
so. I think so. But this is the thing is like I'm reading this book and he's just like, yeah, don't don't be afraid to try this. It's a good platform for these reasons. And so one of the things about Snapchat is the content disappears, right?
Yeah,
And
from
so
what I
like
hear.
yeah, it goes away. And so I thought, well, okay, how could I use Snapchat in a way that is interesting for Magic players, right? And I thought, what about deals? What if I put like a buy list deal up on Snapchat?
That's a good idea.
Like, oh, hey, do you want to buy these Shocklands? They're $5 each. And it goes away in 24 hours. So like naturally, it's content that has like an expiration date, you know? So
Yeah.
or other things like, hey, this card is spiking right now. And then it just goes away, or this card is going to spike, or stuff that like is like important in the moment, but later it's like who cares, right?
Yeah, because MTG finances out like a ticker, right? Like
Yeah,
you don't want to see the information 3 days from now because it's
yeah,
irrelevant.
it's
You need to
irrelevant.
know it here and now. And I guess Snapchat would be a very good platform, almost the best platform for something like that, I would
Yeah, and
think.
so like
It sounds like.
that's what I'm talking about. Is like there's these weird things where before I would like never use Snapchat because I'm like that's like you said 20 years too old. I'm not, and I feel kind of weird when I'm trying it because I'm like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like, and there's all these filters with putting bunny ears on your face or something like this, and I'm just like, how am I going to use this in a way that is like relevant to my platform or relevant to what I'm doing. But then I
By
started
putting
thinking,
bunny ears on your shocklands.
bunny ears.
Yep, that'll get the kids into the shocklands.
KYT's like, what a noob. I added you on there. KYT. Sorry, I broke the rule. I'm not supposed to talk to chat. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing, and I've been finding it, at the very least, it's challenging me to try different things and to learn things, and so I think it's been a good influence.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, what have you been up to, man? Tell me about what's new. Break some ice for me. What's new in your life?
Well, not new. The only things that I get to do, busy with work, things like that. But the one thing I've been able to commit to, for me, is I play Dungeons and Dragons with a core of buddies that, two of which I've known since I was a wee lad, just breaking into the teenage years. So,
how long have you been playing Dungeons and Dragons with these guys?
We have been playing this current campaign since, I would say, September of last year. Not gotten very far. I play, something very, very similar to my person. I play a dwarf, so it's not too far of a stretch for myself playing a short wee fellow.
So do you play a dwarf because you're always so tall in real life, you just kind of the grass is greener, or you kind of want to experience life from the other side?
It's actually not. It's since way back when in EverQuest, I've always played in any sort of fantasy game. Call ups to EverQuest. I've played a dwarf cleric. I'm always a healer. So we started this up. I was like, dwarf healer Dior. So that's what I went with. And I'm currently a terrible drunk. So
in real life,
game,
or
in game, of course, everybody. It's all acting. If you die in the game, you don't die in real life. This isn't the 90s. Get that out of your head. But I've been having a good time. We actually played for 4 hours today, since it was a holiday. We did a little cookout. So it's basically the get together that I get to have with like-minded people. So I enjoyed that. So why not top it off and talk a little Magic with my good buddy Medina?
Yeah. So Modern Horizons. So last time we had a podcast, we talked a bit about the Oathbreaker format, which did not really allow us, because we got so deep in the Oathbreaker stuff. We didn't really get to talk about Modern Horizons, and so we have a lot to catch up on, right? A lot.
Yeah.
So
it's been blowing up more than I could have even imagined. It's just everywhere now.
Yeah, it's been, and the set, I think, just blowing up, blowing our minds, and at least for me, I think the set's insane. What do you think?
The set?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, set's unbelievable.
Yes, Ben, the question is the set. What do you think about the set Modern Horizons?
It is...
He has no words.
It's blowing up as much as, if not more, than Oathbreaker. It's like... it's like every single day that they come out was like... They can't top it. They can't top, the land set. Then boom, next day, they show something else. And then a mechanic that you haven't seen in, 8-10 years, they bring it back. It's just... They are not pulling punches, and they're not afraid to shake up Modern in what I feel will be an extreme way.
Do you think this is really going to shake up Modern? Because part of the narrative of this, now I know it's like Magic the Gathering, so there's a lot of what do you want to say? Complaining, a lot of complaining narrative going on. People saying, "Oh,
people don't complain.
This is Commander Horizons. This is not Modern Horizons. There are no modern playable cards." So, do you feel that way about the narrative? Do you feel like there's no modern playable cards, or do you really feel, honestly, like it's going to shake up Modern?
I don't think that Modern needs a quantity count of cards to shake it up. I mean, heck, just a few sets ago, we had the Phoenix come out, and that one card. Whoa! We don't caw for the Phoenixes, okay? Only the Squadron.
Squadron Hawks. What do we do for the Phoenixes?
They fizzle. So I don't know what that is. We'll come with that. They smolder in ash.
They smolder.
But,
Okay. Show me
but
what smoldering is.
we'll have to come up with some sort of soundbite for that. But no, I think that you don't. That one card has dominated Modern since it came out, and it's dominated not just Modern but almost every format now. So, I don't think it's going to take more than a dozen cards to really shake it up. And you already got this new land cycle that everybody's putting, like, what deck can we put this in, what slots in well. So it's exciting. If nothing else, it's exciting. If you aren't excited, you don't have blood in the veins.
There's a hot take for you. We need to put that out on Twitter with this. If you're not excited, you don't have blood in your veins. So let's start with we're going to start in Tuesday, May 21st. 17 cards were spoiled.
Back in time.
The land cycle. We're going back in time, folks. This is old news to a lot of people, but hey, we're going to talk about it on the podcast because, we're going to give our own unique opinions and perspective on this.
And I've been called unique many times in my life. So what's one more place that I'll be unique? So
yes,
we'll hit up the
unique is a good thing, though. So let's do it fast and furious because we have a lot to cover. We will get to the land cycles momentarily, but before we do that, we have to start with this Giver of Runes. Giver of Runes,
or as I've heard her called, Stepmom.
What do you think?
I like her. The fact that you can get protection from colorless, I think it's a good touch. More importantly, core, not human. I think that was a terrifying fear that everyone had for the potential reprint to slot it into humans would have been atrocious.
I would have loved to have seen Mother Runes reprinted. I had 4 foil Urza's Destiny copies to sell, but now they are competing with this card. So some of the pros and cons of this card is, first of all, it can give protection from colors, like you said, which means what? Number one,
Worm Coil Engine.
Worm Coil Engine?
For me.
Well, Jit in Legacy was a big deal, right?
Is this Legacy Horizons?
No, it's Commander Horizons.
Oh, right, gotcha. I I get forgetful, so
yeah.
You gotta remind me about these things.
And the other big thing, though, it cannot protect itself.
That's right.
So
but
a
if
little
you
bit
have
easier
2 of
to
her
kill.
on the battlefield,
They can protect each other.
Yep. Or with your beloved Legacy, what if you have 8 moms out?
That's a lot of moms. Oh man. All right, so yeah, super cool card. I think it's neat. I wonder if it'll see play. I think it will, right?
Oh yeah. Plus the art is ridiculous.
Oh man, the art. Seb McKinnon killing it as usual.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Awesome art. Let's move on. Sparfrog.
Yeah, I like fogs. Fogs are fun. Frogs with fogs equal more fun.
Yeah, I not a lot to say other than first of all, reprint of a Pauper staple. So used to be $3 or $4, probably now 50 cents. So
yeah.
Great on that. Good in Muldrotha, the EDH deck. I don't think there's going to be a modern Muldrotha deck, but
yeah, we also have the next phase in fixing good cards that are too good with Scour All Possibilities. The what would you call that? The fixed preordain.
Yeah, scry 2 draw card. That seems pretty. I actually just skipped that card because I don't want to talk about all these cards unless we have a joke to make about them that are not really super relevant. So like, Chiller Pillar. No, we're not going to talk about that.
Too late.
Well, we mentioned it. We didn't talk about it. It's two different things. All right, Urza. That's a big one.
That is of this day. That would be the biggest one, right? This is what shook up not modern, but the commander scene, correct?
Right. So Urza's a legendary creature. Let's read Urza. So I think we should get in the habit of reading the cards for people who are just listening. So for those of you who were listening only and don't know about what these cards do, we're not going to go back and read those other ones. So sorry about that. But we're going to start from this one on. Urza, Lord High Artificer, 2 mana, 2 colorless, 2 blue mana, 2 colors. Excuse me. Legendary creature, which means it can be a commander. Human Artificer. All right, there's a bunch of text here. Let's see if we can get through it.
So much.
When Urza High Lord, High Lord. Oh man, when Urza enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Tap an untapped artifact you control and add a blue mana. That's not all. You would think that would be the end of the card.
It's pretty good.
That's already pretty good. But it also has this other ability, pay 5, shuffle your library, then exile the top card. Until the end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. It is a 1/4. Whew! So,
Man.
dang.
So turning all of your artifacts into Moxen seems pretty good.
It seems pretty good, right? And you can then use those Moxen to play free spells from your deck.
Yeah, and let's not forget the scary thing here is it is a human, so you never know how humans can.
Why is that scary? Like
humans is scary.
What are they? What's the human deck going to do? Stop playing humans and play artifacts instead?
I mean, no, but
you're like,
but
I have Urza in my humans deck. Fear.
But they do run their ether vials. They could tap those for mana.
Okay, all right. This is going off the rails.
Hot takes.
This is not going to be in humans deck. Let's be honest. Come on.
Oh man, please somebody clip that, and in 6 months, oh boy,
I'd love to see the humans deck that is made based on Urza. Now, do you think this will see play in Modern? This is like a real powerful card, right?
It is a powerful card with the lovely Cheerios, right? You know, just run a bunch of 0-cost artifacts, and then pump him out. Seems good enough for me, but
I mean, it kind of, right? Like, okay, you play.
It's not gonna be tier 1.
You play a bunch of artifacts. You play him. You get all that mana back because all your artifacts are there. Then what do you do with it? You play the top card of your library, which is what? A 0-cost artifact? So what?
Seems good, right? Or you just keep doing that until you get Blue Sun Zenith.
I think you need to use it with like Paradox Engine, right? Because then you can, when you play the card, right? Then you untap all your artifacts.
Right.
And then you do it again and again and again. And you can play everything in your deck. Is that right? Right?
Yeah. But let's just be honest. This is just the nut draw for Commander right here. This is crazy. Yeah. This is crazy.
Okay.
So powerful that the Command Zone said they weren't even going to run it in their next
they didn't want to put it on game nights because it would have just crushed.
So,
right. All right. So, what about these Horizon lands? What do you think about that?
When I first saw them, I was just they didn't hit me as hard as they hit everybody else, and it just took a moment to sink in. Because I've never run a Horizon Canopy.
Okay.
I do know it's used quite a bit, especially with humans and such. But yeah, I do think that they will be used quite often. What scares me is it feels like everybody's just going to be starting at like 10 life in Modern.
I don't think that's scary. I think it's great, right?
But they're great. They're great. It's disappointing for me as a Azorius Mage that they decided to go with the enemy land cycle first. Makes sense because they couldn't put Horizon Canopy in.
Right.
But yeah, get them. They're going to be great.
These are awesome. The other cool thing about the enemy cycle is that it gives you the white red and the black white as options, right? Because like you know, now again, I'm going to go back to Commander here, but in Commander it's hard to find card draw in those colors, so it is nice now that you can have one of these canopy lands in there. But I think these will see play in, you're going to see these in every deck that can essentially run them. So like, is it Phoenix? You're going to see a couple in there. Already Boggles runs the Horizon Canopy, so we'll probably see the blue-green one instead, or, some mixture.
I would imagine.
I could see
Burn will benefit the most, right? Being able to run 8 different lands that tap for red, and then they can pitch them in the late game when they flood out?
Well, yeah, I think Burn will run them. I don't know if, like, quantitatively they will benefit the most. But I think these are just going to see play in smatterings from 2 to 4 copies and all the different archetypes across Modern. So those will be influential for sure, in my opinion.
And that's all that matters.
No, I'm asking for when I say in my opinion, it's an opening for you to, put your opinion in there.
No, I think they'll be good in certain matchups or certain decks. Does blue-white, do they run the Fiery Islet just so they can later on maybe draw a card? I don't think a control deck wants them until we get the blue-white.
Yeah, okay, does blue-white run an off-color land so they could draw a card?
They
I
don't
think so, but does Jeskai run this land? Probably.
Probably. Yeah. But again, I'm very limited in my scope. If it doesn't have blue and white, it's very rough for me to properly evaluate.
All right, here's a card with blue-white. Dismantling Blow. Will that see play?
No.
Dismantling? No.
Moving on.
All right. How about Nimble Mongoose?
I like that they brought it back.
Uh-huh.
I don't think a 3/3 Shroud for 1 is going to do it anymore. Especially with all of the hate for the graveyard going on. I think it's just going to be splash damaged out. Okay. Like they don't care about Nimble Mongoose, but the fact that everybody's gunning for graveyards as it is just puts that out.
Okay, well, what I'll say to that is maybe the meta shifts, less focus on graveyard, then Nimble Mongoose has an opportunity to sneak in there. Yeah,
I honestly hope. I personally don't like where Modern's at right now. Uh-huh. So if it got to a place where Nimble Mongoose was good, and or some sort of zoo deck was good, that'd be great.
It's too bad because a lot of the pillars of Modern are graveyard decks, like the Phoenix deck or Dredge. So it's really hard to picture a world where those decks are just outclassed by something else, which I don't know.
And if it's going to happen, it would be happening because of a set like this, right? So that's what you hope for.
So is there anything else in the May 21st section that you want to kind of highlight?
2 things.
Okay.
2 things. My first deck ever was Jund.
Okay.
And back then there was almost no better feeling than to go Bloodbraid into Blightning, right? Real powerful.
I see what's going on here.
But I think I found a new partner for Bloodbraid Elf. I want to Bloodbraid into the Lightning Skelemental, which is black, red for a 6/1 trample haste. That says whenever Lightning Skelemental deals combat damage to a player, that player discards 2 cards, and then the ball lightning, of course, is at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Lightning Skelemental. So basically, on turn 4, you could hit for 9 and discard 2 cards. That, my friends, is living the dream.
Yes. Okay, so that's the first thing. I don't have any comments about that, but I think that's a neat dream to have. Follow your dreams, Ben.
Thank you. The other one, I think more people are excited about. I never played when this was a thing, but it seems very fun. Would be Astral Drift. Right? Is this not something that speaks to you? I feel like this would speak to you. Is this no bueno?
So I was also not around. I started in Time Spiral. So when Astral Slide was a deck, that was before my time. The only experience I have with Astral Slide was I saw someone play it in Commander years ago, and they destroyed the whole table with it, and it was really neat. His name was John Douglas, and he's a great brewer. So just totally took me by surprise. So a lot of people have a lot of affection for this card, Astral Slide, and I think Astral Drift kind of evokes these emotions.
All right, well then moving on. Since we don't have any affection for it, let's just move on.
Yeah, no affection. Sorry.
Not
sorry.
No.
All right, Wednesday, May 22nd, we got served up with a fresh batch of tasty spoilers. Why don't you start us off with something that you find interesting in this batch?
Well, again, going back to my lovely lady, Bloodbraid Elf, it's one of my favorite mechanics is Cascade, and to see Cascade on the first sliver,
woo,
which is Wooburg cost for a 7/7 sliver, legendary creature. It has Cascade, and sliver spells you cast have Cascade. Just seems, not for modern, but for commander,
Wow.
bonkers.
Bonkers.
I can't even imagine. You just Cascade through the whole deck, I would imagine. It just seems awesome. I've never played with slivers. They've been the boogeyman because they were before me.
Really, the boogeyman? Like
I've always heard boogeyman stories about slivers. How they just wreak havoc and they're terrible. And so to see this, I can see how that could be just the case. It's awesome. It would, if I were to build a non-control deck, that would be it. I did build a Maelstrom Wanderer deck, which had double Cascade.
Yeah.
But this to give all, basically, because I would only play with slivers, right? That's what you do with a sliver deck. To have a deck where every single creature has Cascade warms my ogre heart.
Yeah, isn't it gross too? Because this means sliver spells you cast have Cascade, which means if you Cascade the first sliver into a 4-mana sliver, then you get to Cascade again.
You just keep going every time.
A 3-mana or maybe 2, and then into a 1. So it's just gross, right?
Yeah, this is great. This is, yeah, I have a lot of love for that card.
For 5 mana.
Yeah, already just those baselines are great. So
yeah, this is a really great sliver card. I like it a lot. Now let's jump off script a little bit here. Let's talk. Let's cause a little bit of trouble.
Whoa.
Now what do you think about all this? So this card stirred up a lot of controversy in the Magic Twitter sphere, and the controversy was about people getting spoilers or leaks, right? Because what had happened was, now we don't, let me just make it clear. We're not saying that anybody saw the first sliver before anyone else. Okay, we're not saying there was a leak, but it was really curious that Sliver, was not Hive Lord, the one on the reserve list.
Queen, right?
Yeah.
Sliver Queen?
Is it Sliver Queen? So Sliver Queen was like spiked before the first sliver came out. It spiked in price. And so people are like, well, that's weird. Why did it spike in price before the first sliver came out instead of afterward, right? You would expect when the preview comes out, that's when people go, oh, we got to buy Sliver Queen. And then they buy it. But there was this talk about, well, maybe somebody saw, the card beforehand and then they went and bought it out. Or they told their followers or their secret cabal about it, and then the cabal bought it out. Now, what do you think about that? Do you think it's a reality? Do you think it's like just hogwash? What's your take?
I, being a novice, I find it highly suspect that, again, Sliver Queen wasn't a cheap card before the spike, right? It was like it
was like $60 or $70, I believe.
So for people to spike that weeks before slivers were announced, to make it go into around $175, $200 range, that's a lot of money to put up on no confirmation. Now I know some of these people like to hide behind logical guesswork and hunches. I say hogwash. Because you're not going to be put, I mean, unless you got that kind of bank and you can roll that, I don't see how you could logistically, put that kind of money in to buy out these high money cards on a potential logical guess that they're going to have them in the next set and then they'll just go crazy. So did they have to see the first sliver? I don't think they had to see the first sliver. I think if they see a sliver, that's all you need, right? Because they're not going to print one sliver.
Right. They're like, here's your sliver. We hope it impacts modern.
Exactly. So I don't think they need to get the big boy. All they need to see is confirmation, a hint of slivers. If you know that they're there, then you can then make your logical conclusions that they are going to at least be casually popular, right? Enough to move the needle. But I think it almost, for me personally, it puts me in the negative mood. I
Yeah.
see this first sliver, I'm like, awesome. So I looked up for more slivers. Well, guess what? Every good sliver
Is expensive.
is ridiculous. So it makes me not want to make the deck.
Yeah, well, of course, it kind of price you out, and it feels bad when you feel like you got preempted on all that
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like, and now, what I think the mistake was made, okay, because I was also part of, the discussion on Twitter about the controversy and whatnot, and I think the mistake that was being made was that people were arguing, "Hey, man, I never seen the first sliver. I never seen this stuff. I just made, I just made these educated guesses, and I'm just." Really good at figuring this kind of stuff out. And all the information is there for people who want to know and this kind of stuff. For me, like, okay, what you tell me something about you, that's fine. I believe it. If you Ben say I didn't see that or I did see it, that's fine. What I think happened is the conversation kind of got hijacked because the fact is whether it was about the first sliver or about Flusterstorm or about anything else, it doesn't matter because the fact is that there are times where people in the industry do see leaks, right? Okay, maybe it wasn't the Sliver Queen this time, but there were times where people have publicly stated that they've seen things beforehand, right? And there's times where people have kind of confirmed things to me privately about things they've seen before they could see them. And so, the whole thing is that it is happening. The inside information is happening. Now, what you do with that information is a whole nother situation. Like, I'm not saying it's unethical to have inside information or for people to tell you stuff. That's going to happen, but if you use that information to gain an advantage, that's when the ethics become questionable. And so I was just curious about like your take on the whole idea and stuff. It sounds like you feel like it's a big poo-poo situation, which
I mean, it bums. I guess I would be like, at this point, just like a regular Joe Schmo Magic player. I get excited about a card, and maybe I see on Twitter like a cool combo with a card. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'll go look that up. Well, if that combo was put out there weeks before the thing that makes the combo was released and they buy up all those cards,
Yeah.
that's expensive. It just puts me down on that. And then, I've heard the justification that, well, if it's not worth that, the market won't support it and they'll bring it down. But if I looked at those slivers say now and I see they're $200 for Sliver Queen,
Yeah.
I'm not coming back in 2 months to check on the Sliver Queen. I moved to see if it's gone down. I've moved on.
Right.
So
I've moved on.
Yeah. So it's
slivers are off the menu.
Slivers are off the menu. So those are the things that I won't say frustrate me or anger me. It saddens me that things. It's because they're not like competitively playable things. Like I understand, tier 1, highly competitive decks. Those prices are going to be what they are because the high level players are going to want them. They're going to want them in foils.
Yeah.
All that jazz. Slivers.
Well, I think
slivers aren't a competitive deck. They can be a good EDH deck, right?
Right. It's a casual thing. But the thing is
right.
Casuals, they bring their money, So like in the game of finance or in the game of like speculation or something, a casual player is more it's more advantageous to prey on the casual players than it is to prey on the maybe prey is the wrong word.
No, but, that's exactly what it is.
No, maybe
that's a Freudian slip.
That's
a Freudian slip.
Let's be careful with our words here.
These speculators, they prey on the innocent.
Let's be careful with the words.
Congratulations, all of you speculators.
What I'm saying is that it's easier to realize profits from a casual user base than sometimes the more competitive. So it makes sense that you would go after those things. But let me just say, and I'm not saying it's wrong ethically or anything like that. All I'm going to say is that as a player, it's obnoxious. Okay?
Yes.
It's just obnoxious because, like, as a player, you want to play. And I felt this the other day. Now, of course, people will say, man, you're such a hypocrite because you've done Magic Finance and you've written about it. Look, I'm just saying that I identify with that feeling because there was a time where I was building these EDH decks, and I wanted to start to get masterpieces for the EDH decks, right? And then, I start hearing people on Twitter and in articles, oh, masterpieces, man, they're the next, reserve list cards, buy them up, get them where you can, and I just start seeing these prices start to shift. And like, I don't want to buy the masterpieces right now. Like, I want to, like, slowly over time add them to my EDH deck. But now I feel like I'm kind of like forced to, in a way, or forced to just miss out, because it's like, look, if you don't buy them now, we're going to all buy them all. And then you can buy them from us later for, 50% more or 30% more. And I'm like, I get it, right? I understand what's happening here, but it's obnoxious, like, and then it's for everything that's viable. It's like, buy it, everybody buy it, and it's just like, okay, guys. And it's like, the price never recovers. It's not that, okay, the market doesn't bear or whatever. The price gets marred, okay? The price gets destroyed, and there's the recovery of that price is not the same. It's never the same after you buy it out and then re-enter the market with it. It just isn't. Okay, that's right. It's not the argument about the market. It's not these activities don't have zero effect on the price, and so I'm saying it's a bit obnoxious. Now, some people might want to take that and twist it. I just want to say one more thing on this, because I don't want to be misunderstood. Take that and twist it and say, like, oh, Medina's against magic finance, or Medina's calling people out, or it's nothing like that, okay? I'm just empathizing with the feeling of, man, you want to just try to build something, and you got this, like, this cadre of, like, gremlins who are in the machine pulling gears out, it's just like, come on, guys, like, I just want to play this game. I just want to buy the cards, like, I don't want to have to, like, try to preempt you on everything that I want to build without getting, the non-MTG finance tax, Yeah, if you're not in the club, you get taxed,
I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. I don't want anything to be upset or misconstrued what I'm saying, but these gremlins here, these evil cog gremlins.
The cadre of gremlins. Release the gremlins.
So, I don't want my words misconstrued, gremlins.
Oh, man. I hope this doesn't get a lot of views. I think I'm going to be, like, totally toasted.
What it.
It's in the middle of the cast, so people will probably stop listening by now. Anyways, let's move on to more spoilers, because I think people are sick of hearing my soapbox.
But I would like to differentiate me versus you.
Sure.
I just want, like, the base level card,
mm-hmm.
and you're wanting the masterpiece card. So, like, I'm like, I want this rare, but it's from 18 years ago. You're like, oh, that's cute, kid. I want the 1 in 18 cases version of that card, and I can't get it.
I now realize,
woe is me.
I now realize the entitlement that pretty much was just encapsulated in that whole spiel about
gremlins.
I'm crying about the gremlins because I can't get my foil masterpieces before they go in there and pull them all out. I understand. Okay, yes. I feel like a little bit of like a, I'm going to use a Dave DeSantis term. I feel like a little bit of a tchotch, because
like a tchotchke, like a thing I put on my my wall.
It's kind of like, this feeling of entitlement. I understand that, and you know what? Nobody's perfect. Maybe I have a little bit of entitlement problems, and
everybody feels entitled, and everybody's a hypocrite. Let's just get those two misnomers out of the way.
Let's let the finance guys have their money.
Just not my money.
So. They just pass it around anyways, to each other.
Exactly. Okay,
right,
so now that we've talked about one card, let's keep moving on.
All right, so Sisse, what do you think? Commander?
Doesn't do anything for me, so if that's something for you, go for it.
Well, it's a cool commander card, 5-color general. You can fetch the Black Blade with it, equip it up, and then you can fetch any other legend after that, because the Black Blade's going to give Sisse +5/+5 at least, right? So you can get like 7 casts, legendary stuff. So I think that's cool. Not much more to say about it other than that. Very cool.
So how do you feel about legendaries that look very much like they are purposely made for Commander.
Oh, so like this
that
one.
that Wooburg cost that clearly kicks it out of any sort of actual constructed play, right?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Some people feel like, look, they want Commander to be like ignored, right? So that, they can find those neat little interactions. Because before it used to be like a cool game, right? You would be like, oh, dude, check this out. I have Condemn. Condemn puts your Commander on the bottom of your library. And then you'd be like, let me see. No? You read it. Yeah. Yeah, it works. And you would this light bulb would go off. Oh, man, that's super cool. You know what else works? Hinder, which these cards were not really designed. And, of course, they took tucking away, which makes me really tucking sad.
I was a big fan. I like tucking.
Yeah, me too. But, so there was that discovery of these things. And now, it's kind of obvious, right? It's like, oh, we're not discovering this. Like, they're doing a Commander thing. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it because it does give you more toys, right? It's like, this is for you, it's like putting your name on the gift, right? It's like when you have the gift under the tree and there's the little labels with the names, it's like, this is for the Commander players. Here you go, Yeah.
See, what the reason I like the Wooburg in it is because it's Sisay Weatherlight Captain.
Mm-hmm.
What I would want to do with this is nothing broken. I would want to make a Weatherlight deck, right?
Okay.
So with that Wooburg the thing that lets you play all of the shipmen from the Weatherlight, you don't have to worry about any sort of restrictions in color restraints. So that's why I like it. But I've become a filthy casual. It is what it is. You just accept it. You don't question it.
Right.
So.
Accept it and move on.
Yep.
Okay. What about, what else do we see in here? First of all, just shout out to Crip Rats. That's being reprinted. Pauper Staple, right?
Yep. So I hear.
Good on them. What is this? I have not read Ranger Captain of Eos. I don't know what this is.
He is so basically he's a more pushed Captain of Eos, right?
Ranger of Eos?
Ranger of Eos, sorry. Seeing both of those really messed me up.
Yeah.
So it's one white for
is it Ranger or Captain? Which one is it?
It's one of them, not both. I knew that. It's but anyways, one white for a 3/3 human soldier, which is the worst.
Okay. Human.
Anyway, so it says when he enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost 1 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your library, which is basically half of Ranger of Eos.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got a lovely ability where you can sacrifice him, and opponents can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Now, why I think he is great, and what scares me about humans, again, the boogeyman, the new boogeyman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is you vial that in on 3.
Okay.
You tutor up your guys.
Mm-hmm.
You have a big, by turn 3 you have a pretty nice sized board. On their turn you sack them so they can't wrath your board, and then next turn, Alpha Strike.
Okay.
Alpha Strike, which, as someone who likes wrathing boards, that's a very scary proposition.
What 1-drop do you get with them?
You could get Hierarch.
You can get Giver of Runes.
Well, I think you'd more likely get who's the Champion of the Parish? Right?
Oh,
Champion of the
okay.
Parish.
All right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
That'd be so. And he's 3 costs instead of 4, so I feel like he's more pushed that way. So I think he will see a lot of play, and they did too because they put him as the mythic. So
and they did too. All right. I don't want to talk about these slivers. There's a lot of slivers in the set that are really cool. Definitely have different abilities that will be relevant, and I'd say, like, out of all the slivers I've seen, many of them would make it into the EDH deck. Slivers EDH, and some of them are really constructed pushed, like the one that gives haste and flying. So we'll let you do the digging on the sliver stuff.
Yes.
Plane Bound Accomplice.
Go on, tell me more.
Okay, so this is a 2 and a red for a creature human wizard. It's a 1/3, and it has basically a sneak attack ability for planeswalkers. So you pay 1 red, and you may put a planeswalker card from your hand into the battlefield and sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So at first I saw this and I said, that's kind of dumb because you just get 1 planeswalker ability when you play this, play it from your hand, right?
But what if there's a combo?
What if that planeswalker was Chandra, and you put her in play, and then you, activated her first ability, is it? Or one of her abilities to make 2 red mana.
Yep.
And let's say you had a Cloudstone Curio in play. So, maybe you then use one of those red mana to activate and, put Nicol Bolas in play from your hand. Right? Nicol Bolas, Dragon God. And then, because of Cloudstone Curio, you bounce the Chandra. And you activate Nicol Bolas to exile a card from their hand or a permanent. And then use that second red mana to, again, put Chandra in play.
Yeah.
Bouncing Nicol Bolas.
And it doesn't even have 1 toughness, so it's not like you can just, ping it, get rid of this creature. It's got 3 toughness.
I think that's cool. I think it's a cool combo.
It's really good. Yeah. We'll see how much play it gets, but it's a cool combo.
I like it, and I think it's something that I would run in the Nicol Bolas Oathbreaker deck, because you already have Chandra, and you have like 13 Planeswalkers in that deck, and so once this is in play, you just need another red mana and a Chandra in hand, and another Planeswalker. Anyone? Well, I guess you have to also run the Cloudstone, but I think we could do it. All right, so a couple more here. Scale up. 1 green, sorcery. Until the end of turn, target creature you control becomes a green worm with base power 6/4. People are talking about this in Infect.
Yep, 100%. A turn, what are they saying? Like a turn 2 kill, right? Consistently?
Yeah, now, does it take Infect off the creature because it becomes a green worm? Does it?
Nope, it doesn't take any of the text off of it, just the base power gets changed.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
So turn 1 Glistener Elf, turn 2 scale up into whatever the one is that gives you 4/4. I'm not an Infect guy, so that escapes me.
Kill on turn 2. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we could probably see that in the Infect deck. Not much more to say about that unless Ben has something more to say.
About that, no. Just a quick thing with because we see another snowland here, the basically the snowman land. With that, we did make a little light joke about what the Chiller Pillar the Chiller Pillar has 2 costs of snow. Now, my only question is this: do you think that they're just setting this up for a fall snow set? Because having 2 costs in that Chiller Pillar that's not going to be a very likely thing, right?
In limited, I think so.
Well, you have to draft the snowlands.
No, I don't think so, man. I think they put snow here because they weren't planning to put it anywhere else.
Okay.
This feels like the table scraps.
I hear rumors. Okay, unconfirmed rumors that we could be going to a snow plane.
You could be right. Should we buy stuff? Maybe we should talk about after the cast.
No.
Maybe some preemptive buying we can do just to tilt all the filthy casuals.
Well, we'll do that with our paid subscribers.
Yes, our Patreons. If you do want to join our Patreon, too bad, because we don't have one.
Boom. You're lost.
Hey, doesn't mean we won't ever get one. Just disclaimer there.
The one thing I do hope, as again, a filthy casual, because they're going with the enemy cycles of a lot of things.
Right.
I do hope that at Uncommon, they finish off the Uncommon dual Snowland cycle. From Cold Snap, we got the allied snow-covered duels that come in tapped. It would be nice for them to finish off that cycle here.
That would be cool.
So I know that's not on anyone's parameter right there, but I would like to see them. I'm a big fan of finished cycles. I love finished cycles.
Okay. And
they complete me.
And we're going to get to another cycle that is getting along the way of being finished later in the cast. Hold your horses, Ben.
They're held.
Hold your feet still. Okay. What else are we going to talk about? Goblin Engineer. I think this is relevant, right, in some capacity.
This is one of those classic, we think a legacy card's too good for modern, so we'll slow it down and it just makes it blah.
Okay. I'm going to read it
for
anyways.
Me. For you, go for it.
Goblin Engineer, 1 in a red. When Goblin Engineer enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card, put it in your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Sacrifice an artifact, return artifact card with converted mana cost 3 or less to your graveyard, or from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so kind of a cool toolbox kind of card in Commander, right?
Yes.
So you can go fetch something and then bring it in play. I've seen Trash for Treasure, the 3 mana sorcery, has spiked a little bit because of that card. Because you don't have to get a 3 mana artifact. It only brings one back. So you can get like a 10 mana artifact and throw it in your graveyard. You
could.
Yeah.
I've also heard this being referred to as the red Stoneforge Mystic.
Okay.
Because you put a sword in the graveyard and then you're able to bring it back uncounterably. So,
yeah, but you have to sacrifice an artifact to do that.
Well, Stoneforge is too powerful, so they have to slow it down a bit.
Yeah, I feel like the power level is not even close to Stoneforge in my opinion.
Agreed.
Okay, we agree. Let's move on.
We agree. Okay. Show's over.
Area of Flame, we're going to move on from that, but
yeah,
look that one up because people are talking about funny stuff with that. Okay, we're going to cruise on over to Thursday, May 23rd, where another batch of delicious cards has been dropped on us. Let's talk about these. Where do you want to start?
I think where everybody thinks that we're going to go, to the legendary bear. We finally have a bear commander.
Yes.
A 2/2 for 2. So I will butcher the name. Ayula.
Okay.
Queen Among Bears is 1 in a green for a 2/2 legendary creature bear. Says whenever another bear enters the battlefield under your control, you can choose one. You can put 2 +1/+1 counters on target bear, or target bear you control fights target creature you don't control.
Wow.
Super fun casual, right? Like everybody's wanted a bear.
This is great. I think it's really great. I think it could be a fun commander deck to build. You get yourself an emerald medallion in there. Your bears are costing 1 green now, There might even be some kind of combo with the +1/+1 counters, You put a bear in for 1 green. Maybe you can remove the counters for mana somehow. And then, get a little bit of, Cloudstone Curio action there where you're bouncing bears back and forth, and then you maybe have, Ultra the Brood or something to mill somebody out,
Yeah.
So here you sit down with your play group and you're like, hey, it's just a simple bear tribal deck, just a filthy casual of me coming out to play. And then you combo their faces with some sweet interactions, possibly.
Yeah. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is this was clearly Bear Day, right? They wanted to go Bear Day. So
what is Bear Day? I don't get that.
A day of Bear Day. Because not only did we get this, we got Mother Bear, another bear that is adorable, by the way. But it's a bear, so it's a 2/2 for 2. And just a regular bear, little mother bear with her 2 cubs in the back. But with 3 green, you exile it from the graveyard and you create 2 2/2 bear creature tokens that you can only activate as a sorcery. So I love everything about that card. I love the flavor text. It says, even without her, the cubs will always know their mother's love. It's just adorable. I like that card. It goes well with that.
It's kind of sad, actually.
It is
kind of melancholy now.
I know, right? It's
man.
I like it.
I got a little bit of
choking him back.
All right.
As
Keep going.
two fathers here, we definitely understand the love right there.
Yeah,
So,
fatherhood does that to you, you know.
but then you
Hey,
also
slow down,
have
Ben. Slow down. Let's just
Oh.
let the moment. Let's let the moment
simmer
be.
it. Okay.
Let the moment be, Ben. You know, we can't. You know, we can't push through it. Just gotta
Can't push through it.
let it hit.
Sip and savor, everybody. Sip and savor.
Right. I feel pretty hit. I think the moment's done.
Okay. Well, then moving on, the final bear card of the day
All right.
is
Bear with
our
us,
names
everybody.
are
Dude, you should have just let that one pass.
oh.
That one you were supposed to let pass.
Okay, sorry. We have the namesake legendary bear. We have her influence. So it's an enchantment. It's green, green, green for discard a land card, and you create a 2/2 green bear. So I think if you like bears, it's a good day. It's a good day to be a bear fan.
I love that somebody mentioned this to me, and it blew my mind. They were like, "Oh yeah, this what was it? Oh man, what am I? I'm losing it here. Seismic assault. They're like, I like this version of seismic assault much better because these shocks don't go away." And I was like, "Whoa, that is seismic assault, but with bears that stay on the battlefield."
Exactly.
I have a lot more
think it's
respect
great.
for the card after that. I think it's great.
Yeah. I really think you can do something. They're actually giving tools to decks that have never had tools. So it's just, who
Right.
cares about if it's competitive for constructed? The bear, there's always someone who loves a tribe, right?
Yeah, there's going to
And-
be a bear deck now in Commander. Yeah.
They've done it. So congratulations, WotC, giving those who have nothing something.
Did you read the stats of that card? The bear seismic assault?
We mean the stats. I read the card.
Okay. I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Never. I wouldn't expect you to. So
All right. So shout out to Genesis for showing up in Modern Horizons. Super cool card. It's a EDH all-star from back in the day. Kind of been outclassed lately, recently, with all the Commander-only cards that were printed, or Commander-focused cards.
and all the graveyard hate will just eat that up.
Oh, I'm not afraid of that.
You're not afraid of graveyard hate for Genesis?
Not in Commander, no. You can't be afraid of graveyard hate if you're going to play graveyard decks. You have to just play it, and you just have to make them have it. So
There you go.
I'm not afraid of that. But I just feel like it's been outclassed. There's a lot of other things you want to be doing. Genesis feels a little bit slow. But anyways, for those who are curious of what it is, Genesis is a 5-mana creature, 4 generic and 1 green. It's an incarnation, and it is a 4/4. And it says, at the beginning of your upkeep, if Genesis is in your graveyard, you may pay 2 and a green. If you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a cool way to get things back from the graveyard after they have passed on. Let's talk about Bizarre Trade.
Baghdad?
Trader, is it Trade Mage? Trade Mage.
Trade Mage, a human wizard.
I would love to
Human.
get my face altered onto the Bizarre Trade Mage. I think that would be sweet.
Would that be cooler than having your face put on Karn Liberated?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
That'd be pretty. That'd be something I would never get rid of if I
Oh,
ever had that
do
happen.
you have that, by the way? Because I don't know what happened to that.
I would hold it hostage if I had it.
I thought that's what's happening right now. I was like, is he going to pull up the Karn Liberated with my face on it? Because I've lost track of where that went. I do know that the Snapcaster in my face, the Eric Klug Alter Snapcaster, I know who has that, and he will not sell it to me.
Sounds vicious.
I don't know what to say about that. But anyways, let's move on. Bizarre Trade Mage. What do you think about this card? This card seems strong, right?
I think it's close, right?
Wow, close?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to see construction play. It's just too slow.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
what deck's going to use it in non-EDH? EDH powerhouse. We can just say powerhouse to all these cards for EDH,
Wait,
right?
I don't know about EDH powerhouse, right? Why is it an EDH powerhouse?
Just because it's great.
No, the thing that, okay, the only thing in EDH where this is relevant is actually the draw cards and discard 3 cards. So
Yeah.
I could see this in like a Muldrotha deck, something that you want to use permanents to draw cards, right? And put stuff in your graveyard. So, this is like, there was an old Sphinx that you would reanimate with Dread Return so that you can draw cards and discard cards, and you would do that to dredge, right? So, like, I could see Bizarre Mage doing that in a Muldrotha deck, but, like, the body is pretty irrelevant in Commander. And I think that the body is actually relevant in, like, Modern. It's a 3-mana, 3/4 flyer.
All right, so what deck
not
do you
good
see
anymore?
that in, though? I mean, the one I would imagine would be, right, Phoenix, right? Because they like to put cards in their graveyard, but are they wanting to spend 3 mana on a dude that does it? Or are they going to want to spend that mana on spells where they can get their Phoenixes back?
No, that's a good point, but maybe Dredge. I mean, this is Bizarre Baghdad activation on a creature. Maybe Dredge, or maybe some new archetype, Like,
yeah, I mean, and that's the possibility, right?
Is the body irrelevant? It's a 3/4 flyer for 3 mana. It's so sad if that's irrelevant,
Well, we'll get to it later, but is a 3/3 double strike on turn 2 good enough?
I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm excited.
Ooh, spoilers to come.
Ooh. All right. Let's talk more about this batch. There's some other cool things in here. A white Beast Within.
I love that, being a blue-white mage. It's nice. I don't know, what am I wanting to destroy that leaves them with a guy? Probably a problematic planeswalker or a blood moon.
Yeah, a blood moon.
I think that'd be good.
Or a land.
So it'd be a good sideboard card, I'd imagine. Yeah, adorably, big fan of, just flavor-wise, Goat Nap. only because my Zedru deck makes goat tokens quite easily. So anyway, moving on.
Okay, Goat Nap, Super Tech, and Zedru. Okay, let's talk about the mocks. Let's get it over with. What do you think?
I'm gonna want one just because it's a mox. As far as its power level for Modern, I think the only decks that are gonna want to run that is decks that are cheating it via the As Foretold, Electro Dominant, something like that gets it in, and because you don't want to accelerate your mana on turn 4, you want to accelerate your mana on turn 1. So I don't know where it fits. And that's evident by the fall in the pre-order price. So
the Mox is trash. So let's move on.
Woo!
Altar of Dementia. Well, let's not beat around the bush here, okay? The thing is, the reason why the Mox is not good is because the reason why Moxes are good is they give you mana for zero mana, right?
Right.
That's
I think
the whole thing.
The redeeming quality, though, is it has one difference that the previous few Moxes have had that this one does not.
Okay.
It's not legendary.
Yeah,
and that's the only I'm not giving it a pass. But that is, if you could get multiples of those out, then it could be pretty nice. I mean, who knows? The world may never know yet.
Right?
Modern is a fickle lady. So
I mean, okay. If someone breaks it, they got me. Okay?
Got me.
You got me. I was wrong. But what I'm going to say right now is the Mox is trash. You have to wait 3 turns for it to come and play. It's just...
All right. Clip number 2, everybody.
All right.
6 months from now, clip number 2.
Let's just do it. We're committing to opinions here, okay? I don't like it. I don't see it. That's it.
You know what, everybody? This should warm your heart as much as it's warming mine. Hot takes from Medina are a dish best served cold, and I haven't gotten it for so long. So, you know what? Trash. Moving on.
If we had a thumbs down icon, we would put it up on the screen right now. Lastly, Altered Dementia, an old callback reprint, 2-mana card. It's a free sacrifice outlet, which target player puts the number of cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power from the top of their library into their graveyards. So kind of a cool mill card, free sacrifice outlet. I would not be surprised to see this find its way into some kind of modern deck. I think it's powerful enough to do that. And, you can use it for self-mill strategies. You can use it for milling people out or just sacrificing things. So super interesting. Interested to see how that pans out.
I like it. Moving on.
Okay.
I would imagine, unless you had anything else.
No, nothing else. Oh, man, there's an Oathbreaker in this batch. Woo! It's getting hot in here. Okay.
Oh, man. Nelly reference number 2. All right. So just hit him with it, but just hit him with it, everybody. Let's hear it. Go for it. Let me hear your Oathbreaker.
We're going to build up to that. You first.
Let's see here. Well, if I were to go first, which I am, my favorite card in this bunch is got to be Archmage's Charm. My baby Cryptic is going to do everything I want it to do. So it's blue for an instant, and you can choose one.
Blue.
Counter target spell. Target player draws 2 cards or gain control of target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 1 or less.
Okay.
So I love it. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I really, really do. Often, an instant speed draw 2 for 3 is just, that's going to be the mode more than likely, I'd imagine.
Really?
Yeah. Drawing 2 cards end step for 3 mana seems good. But yeah,
is there anything else
this
that
card
does that right now? Esper Charm?
If you're playing Esper.
Okay.
Which I'm not.
What else does it? What else?
I mean, instant speed, as far as
like what does blue white play right now that does that kind of thing?
That draws 2 instant speed. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's got the Cryptic. The problem with Cryptic is you're always wanting to draw the card, right? But
I guess I don't know. I'm not a blue white mage,
Right. So its most common mode is draw 1 counterspell.
Okay.
So, but that's for 4 mana with the triple blue. So the triple blue, that's a huge cost to most decks, right?
Yeah.
Blue white.
Like
not.
I look at this and I see bad cancel.
Okay. I will take this over cancel all day.
Right, because of the draw, right? So like, when you're countering a spell, it feels bad, right?
Right.
Does it feel bad?
Yes. It feels it could be a necessary evil, yes, but it's not what you. If you got to, you got to.
Okay.
Right. If you gotta stop their Karn, you're gonna stop their Karn. You're not gonna feel bad about it. You're not gonna feel great about it.
Okay.
But some fun things I can see doing is turn 3, taking their Ether Vial. Seems pretty good against a humans deck who's wanting to cheat in all their stuff, or a merfolk deck, which doesn't exist. Sorry, prof.
Get wrecked.
But it's the flexibility of the card itself. No one ability is like stellar, but the fact that you can have those options, that's all I want. As a blue-white mage, that is all I want.
Okay.
I want to have a fistful of options, and I get a fistful of options in one card. So this one's great.
Okay. I'm undecided on it. I do see, like, maybe I'm looking at it wrong from like the premier mode being the counter. Maybe the premier mode. Sorry about that. Maybe the premier mode is the draw 2.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
And so looking at it that way, it makes it different. It's like a draw spell. It's like an instant speed divination.
Yeah.
Essentially, and then with the option to counter or to a real like corner case, I feel like.
You're not going to use that third one too often.
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot of cute times, right? There'll be some cute things that you're going to blow them out because they're not expecting it. Right. Whether it be one of their beloved mocks, or
or taking their Dark Depths token.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that is an artifact. Is that an artifact?
Oh, it's a creature, a non-land permanent.
Oh, my bad. You win this round.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an artifact.
That's how when it's blue, I just see artifacts. So in that case, you could take the Noble Hierarch.
Yeah.
And then you just have a mana producer that you can use. Yeah, I like this card a lot.
Okay. Fair. I'll take it.
Go for it.
Okay, Sling Gang Lieutenant. Just want to give a shout out to this card.
Love it.
It is 3 mana, 3 and a black, so 4 mana total. It's a goblin. It's a black goblin, and it says whenever a Sling Gang Lieutenant enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Sacrifice a goblin. Target player loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. This is great. This card's awesome. It's going to be not in modern, but very cool in Commander and those like red black goblin decks. Like,
well, they're pushing it too. They're trying to push red black goblins in this with your. I don't think we've gotten them to them yet. Yeah, we did that 2-drop red black goblin,
the one that shoots something, right?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is just a black version of Siege Gang, right? It's so clever, it's cute, and you know what? We can be a different cast, right? We can be different. I'm going to keep giving out shout outs to the flavor text that I enjoy, and this one is a pretty good flavor text, everybody. It is freshly promoted to first rock. Zat was eager to make an impact. So funny. Clever. I love it. You gotta enjoy all of your card, right? You can't just like the mana cost. You can't just like the power. The flavor text is there, everybody. Savor it. Savor the flavor.
Okay. Well, I don't ever read flavor text, but it's wonderful that Ben does, and I celebrate him for that. So
I feel celebrated.
Yeah. Not going to read Fallen Shinobi. It is a ninja though, so FYI, ninjas in the set. Just all your ninja dreams are coming true. Lesser Massacre. This actually evokes some emotions because all the Massacres I've ever seen were like good Massacres. So
Molten Tail.
It was even that had its moments. And when I first started playing, the Massacre that was there was Razormane Massacre, I think, is a 5 mana in 10th edition, and I remember that was like a tech because it was tech in a certain deck, and I don't remember. I think it was to get around a color protection thing that was in the meta at the time, and I just had fond memories for that. So then I saw a Massacre that cost 2 mana, and I said, "Oh man, this looks insane! 2 mana Massacre, Lesser Massacre, great artwork." Discard a card when you cast it, which is a neat play on the old discard a card Massacre trope. And I think it's cool. It's a 2 mana 2/2 artifact creature, which you have to discard a card. So it's really not only 2 mana; it's 2 mana and a card. But it does have persist, so it comes back as a 1/1. Okay. The thing it has an ability pay 4, deal 1 damage to target creature. Like, man, I was loving everything about this card until I got to the ability, and I feel like, it's kind of wasted. It almost feels like,
It would have been better if it was any target, then you would have been happy with it, because then you could go infinite mana and just kill.
I think if it was any target and it was like 2 mana.
At uncommon, come on now.
Make it a rare.
Make it. Oh, I'll take every card that I kind of like that's a common and just say make it a mythic. And
man,
give me these abilities, make it a mythic.
I wonder if this does go in the zoo battle box though. Curious about that.
It could.
Okay. Oh man, there's so many cards in this section.
Yeah, this section was a big section. I want to briefly touch on, just because of something that I like, Hex Drinker. I don't want to talk about much of it. It's a leveler card. My fondness for Rise of the Eldrazi is well known, and I never thought I would see a leveler card again. So the fact that they put a leveler card in at Mythic, it blew my mind. So the fact that you can, so he costs one green. It's a 2/1, and you can level up for 1 colorless. Can only do as a sorcery. When he's level 3 through 7, he's a 4/4 with protection from instants. Level 8 and above, he is a mini Progenitus. 6/6 protection from everything. You will get blown out, so don't play this card. You will get blown out pumping mana into it, and then them killing it in response to that crucial crucial level up counter. So.
No, what they're going to do is they're going to Archmage Charm and take it. Boom.
Right there.
Yeah.
In response to the 8th trigger. Yeah.
Right.
Look, see, and you said that card's a meh.
Well, you were convincing me. You were getting me there. I was having trouble. Hey, here's the thing, man. I'm not perfect. I might have imperfect evaluations of cards.
Clip
it's possible.
Clip that, everybody. 6 months
Stop
from
telling
now,
people to clip stuff.
you'll find out.
Nobody clips stuff. Nobody does that.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. There's some super cool cards. I'm going to run through before I get to the big ones. I did like Hex Dreamer. I was going to mention that. Very cool card. There is Plague Engineer, which is a 2 and a black. It's a 2/2 creature carrier. Freaking cool creature type. Death Touch. And then it says, as Plague Engineer enters battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature of the chosen type get -1/-1. It's basically a engineered plague creature. An engineered plague used to be a huge card in Legacy. Kind of cool to see it as a creature. Also gave me the feels like the Masticore card. King of the Pride, 2 and a white, 2/1.
Love it.
Other cats you control get +2/+1, which is basically Savannah Lions stats, right?
Yep.
It's a cat lord.
Love it.
Very cool. Winds of Abandon. What do you think of this?
Where are we at?
Down at the bottom, next to Hex Drinker. Winds of Abandon. You should know this.
I should know this?
Yeah. Do you not know it?
Too many words. Moving on.
Read it. Read it, Ben.
All right. 1 and a white for sorcery. Exile target creature you don't control. For each creature exiled this way, its controller searches their library for a basic land card. That player puts that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffles the libraries. Well, you know what? That's not so great, but it has Overlord. Overload for 4 white. If you pay that cost, you can turn each into every. So for 6 mana, you can exile every creature you don't control.
Right.
Don't like it.
Don't dislike. Okay. People were
like
talking about this is like a new Path to Exile.
Yeah. I love paying 6 mana for Path. That's why it's so good.
Okay. Hot takes, everybody. Hot takes. All right, let's move on.
It's also a sorcery, so it's nothing like Path to Exile.
All right. There's 3 cards left in this section. Unbound Flourishing, Mind Exploding card. It's 2 mana.
Yeah, that's you, right? This is just screams Medina.
I like this card a lot.
Yeah. Yep, I figured you would.
It's 3 mana, so it's 2 and a green, which I already like. I like low casting cost things. And then it says, whenever you cast, it's an enchantment. Whenever you cast a permanent spell with a mana cost that contains X, double the value. So I'm thinking about the Nissa, Steward of Elements or whatever it is, the one that costs blue, green, and X, and then you get to like look at the top of your library, put something like that into play.
I have a question about this in regards to double X spells like Hangerback Walker. So if I say X equals 2, that doubles it for both. So if I pay 2 mana, does that make each of those X's a 4?
Yes, because it says double the value of X.
Okay, so then it would get 4 counters on it for 2 mana?
Yeah.
Seems good.
Yeah, that does seem good, right?
All right, what else we got?
It also has, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell or activate an ability, if that spell's mana cost or the ability's activation cost has X, copy that spell or ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. So, like, if you, like, Sphinx's Revelation for 10, you copy it. Woo!
That's the epitome of a win more. Yeah. And in Bant, let's go on.
It's an awesome card, man. Awesome. All right.
You haven't convinced me yet.
Okay, I'm not going to try because, like...
I feel like we have 2 cards left, so...
You go.
Okay, I know. You are just
do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I'll go. So, the cycle that is
Did I
coming
ruin
back...
it? Wait, did I ruin it? Maybe we need to, like, re-enter. Did I ruin the lead-up,
I think everyone knows what card you love the most here.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
The world knows. Anyway, so the sword cycle, it's near and dear to my heart. Being from Scars of Mirrodin, seeing 3 of the 5, and always hearing whispers of things like light and shadow, fire and ice. We have finally some allied colors for this cycle. And of course, being a blue-white, I like seeing truth and justice.
Truth and justice.
Giving +2/+2 protection from white and blue, and then flavor text. Oh, wait, no. Unfortunately, this is not flavor text. It is pretty bad. When you deal damage, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on your creature you control and then proliferate. Boy, love the card. Those are not abilities that I would have wanted to see.
So you don't want to proliferate on your Jace, You don't want to.
I mean, that's a win more right there. That's not what I want to do right there. I want to answer things.
No.
No,
You don't want to proliferate on your blast zone?
No, I've blast zone. No, I would have liked to see the blue side be an unsummon. That'd been nice. Is that too powerful, you think? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I just don't think it's always relevant.
I don't think the plus. That's the thing is, I don't think that either of these are that relevant. The proliferate is nice if you have your planeswalkers out. If you don't, it's not relevant. And a +1/+1 count, which is really going to turn into a +2/+2.
Yeah,
on your creature.
+2.
If you're hitting, you're already doing good. So that's like a little bit of win more.
Yeah, that's the same thing with unsummon though. If you're hitting, like, what do you want to unsummon?
Well, it's because you have protection. Maybe I want to bounce their big white threat, blue threat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, living the dream. So, but yeah, this is not. I will still want it. I
All
also
those
get
big
one
white
because
and big blue threats in modern. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jinja Taxis, Elish Norn. They're nothing. They're nothing. Forget about it.
Oh man.
All right, so we'll move on. Since this is the other one by itself, I will also go through Sword of Sinew and Steel. Same thing, 3 cost, 2/2, pro black, pro red. I like this one a little bit more. When it deals combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target planeswalker and up to 1 target artifact.
Yeah, I found
like that a lot more.
This one is pre-selling for less. I know we're not in the finance section yet, but this was pre-selling for less, and I actually found these abilities to be much more interesting to me.
Way more interesting. Yeah, I'm so. I was like, on Truth and Justice, and then when I saw Sinew and Steel, I was like, actually vomited in my mouth thinking about Truth and Justice. it was Sinew and Steel feels like the Feast and Famine sword, where now Truth and Justice looks like the Body and Mind sword.
Yeah.
Oh man, that Sinew and Steel.
Woo! He's getting excited.
Oh man, yeah, that's a great.
Well,
sword.
You should be glad, since you're a Tundra Mage, you should be glad that the blue-white protection sword is pretty crummy, because now they can't use it against you.
That's true. There we go.
There's always
they did it on purpose. They helped me out.
Lining. All right, it's 1 hour and 20 minutes into the podcast, and those of you who came back from our Oathbreaker podcast, you're going to get a little bit of Oathbreaker content right now, because Ren and 6 is probably one of the best Oathbreakers out there, in my opinion. Reason why is, number one, it's 2 mana, and it's 2 colors. Okay? That seems like, well, yeah, so what? But the thing is the whole format is based around your Oathbreaker. So first of all, color identities, you get 2, unlike Tybalt, which you only get 1.
And he's garbage.
Yeah, and he's trash. And these abilities are super relevant. Return 1 target land card from your graveyard to your hand. So like if you turn 1, crop rotation, or turn 1 cycle land, turn 2, play this, get the land back. That's a cool thing you can do. Another thing you can do is I'm building a deck. I actually have this deck available for pre-order on alchemistrefuge.shop. Yes, I did plug alchemistrefuge.shop. You should check it out. It's one of my, I call it my passion project, kind of something I do on the side. Really enjoying building decks and setting up that website. So the idea, the deck that I'm building it's Ren and 6, And the signature spell is Devastating Dreams, which is 2 red and discard X cards. And then everyone sacrifices that many lands. So you say you discard 5 cards, 4 cards. They sacrifice 4 lands. Everyone sacrificed 4 lands, and all creatures take that much damage. So basically, you play this on turn 3, and then with some ramp, you play this on turn 3, and then you Devastating Dreams on the same turn, take out everyone's land, wipe the board, and then you can get your land back and play it, and then you're ahead of the game already. And I kind of like that kind of grindy approach to the thing, and I think just being a 2-mana Oathbreaker, it's going to open up a lot of options. Really cool card.
My contribution here is all I want is to see an altar, which I'm sure is going to happen. The altar of Ren and Stimpy. So you've heard it here first. Altars of Ren and Stimpy will be quite the thing for Ren and Six. So.
Oh man, I don't know if they've heard it here first. That's kind of a common joke,
Well, when you don't follow the internet, everything's original.
That's true. Everybody's, just so you know, Ben does not follow the internet, so everything he says is original.
Yeah, exactly. You heard it here first.
We did, and I heard it here second as well.
All right. So I think we are coming to our final day.
Yes, this is the final day of spoilers. So thank you for hanging out so far. You
guys are awesome.
We're gonna dive in, and by the way, I know we said we were not going to mention chat, but I have been reading a little bit of chat, and I will say you guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out together, communicating together, being a community. You guys are doing great, and I appreciate all your feedback and some of the funny things that you're saying. I actually have to keep myself from laughing on some of them because I don't want to break the fourth wall. Is that what it's called?
Or the fifth wall.
Is it the fifth or is it the fourth?
The world may never know.
I'll have to look that up on the internet. All right, hit us with something from this day's spoilers.
As you know, I like Cube, as you may well know, and you, the listeners, as well. I want to get your take on the talisman cycle. So, will they be better than the signets? We have them. So far, we have 5, which are the enemy cycle. Again, they are giving the enemy colors love in this one. They're all the same. They cost 2. They tap for colorless, or they tap for one of either the 2 colors and deal 1 damage to yourself. So, what do you think? Do you think they're better than the signets?
I've always liked them better than the signets. The reason why is there's signets are often awkward when they're like the leftover mana you have open or available. Signets kind of lock you into that color combination. If you have a signet, you have to make the 2. You can't make blue or red or something like that. And so I've always liked the talismans because you don't have to tap them. When it doesn't matter, you can just tap them for colorless.
Well, you say that you've always liked them, but these are brand new cards.
Well, I've always liked the old ones because there was a cycle before this.
But not like this, right? Because I'm looking at it, and there's nothing like this unless they did the colors for the ally colors.
You didn't know that there's allied talismans?
Were they the ones in Scars?
No, they're old. They're old.
Old.
They're old. Let me find out what set they're from. Yeah, I've always liked them. They're they're from Mirrodin.
Okay, well then I love it even more because you know what that means.
They've completed the cycle.
Completed cycles.
Yes. So back in the day they had the allied colors, and this is what I mean by I've always liked them. I've always wanted to do them in my EDH decks, but here's the problem. Is there was not a complete cycle. So it would be this weird situation where I'd have 2 signets and a talisman or 2 talismans and a signet. And it just bothered me, so.
As it should.
Or in some decks that I would only run 1 signet, they didn't have the color talisman. And so, I played them a lot less because of that. Because of the inability to synthesize, And so... Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean, but I don't like having signets and talismans mixed.
Yes.
So I don't
So
like doing that.
you're pro segregation.
Oh, is this what we're doing? Are we trying to corner each other into statements that we're making? Is that what's happening right now?
I just wanted to be clear. I want to make sure that I understand you completely.
Oh man. Anyways, so talismans, I've always liked them. Love that they completed the cycle.
Perfect.
Looking forward to using them in Chamanda.
All right. So what spoke to you here?
A lot of cool things. I think we'll save Big Daddy till the end. Okay. But Collector Oath is 1 in a green. Creature Oath. Activated abilities of artifacts can be activated, and it's a 2/2. So it's a little hate bear, but
Yeah, that's a hate bear.
It goes well with Mycosynth Lattice. So we had a Karn that did it, and now we have a Oath that does it. So interesting there.
Yes.
I will say, okay, I do want to say this. The 1 mana angel with flying and vigilance, super cool. So, Sego Vian angel. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
that was perfect.
Yeah, it's a white, 1 white creature angel, flying vigilance, 1/1. It's perfect for angel tribal decks.
Yep.
Kind of cool. Wish they would do more low cost angels so that people can,
It is really nice to see them giving love to the tribals, right? Like it's nice that they're kind of filling gaps that are known that certain archetypes for tribes are needing. So that is very nice. I do enjoy that, because on its own a 1/1 flying vigilant isn't great, but when you put in the context of it's an angel, it should be used for angel decks mainly, right? Then it gives the angel player a 1-drop. Right. They struggle with the 1-drop. So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Like I could see this in the casual angel deck, right? Where they have this 1-drop. Now they have 4 copies of this, and then they also have like the 3 mana angel that comes in and bounces something, and kind of missing. They have a 2 mana angel, but it can only be played on turns like 3 and after or something like that.
Yeah.
So you kind of need that 2 mana angel now, but you're getting pieces, and so I think that's very cool.
Yeah. As far as a miss. The counterspell that was revealed here, it has everything right going for it. It's got the red,
That's
it has got red in the art.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a great counterspell.
Right.
Fateful Hour is not a mechanic I want to see on a counterspell ever.
Does not like.
So Spell Snuff is 1 blue for counter target spell. That's great. Not really. It's just cancel. But then it has Fateful Hour, which is if you have 5 or less life, draw a card.
Okay. So Ben prefers his cancels to have 3 blue mana in them. So
yeah,
that's why he doesn't like this.
Yeah, I like the art, love the art, but I don't like the card.
All right.
A card I do like though is Kaya's Guile. I don't play black white, but this is to me it looks like a strong card. It looked okay. It's a 1 white black for an instant, and it's a modal spell. You can choose 1 or choose 2 of the options, and each opponent sacrifices a creature, exile all cards from an opponent's graveyard, create a 1/1 white black spirit creature token with flying, or gain 4 life. I was like, oh, that's not too bad. It's got something else. It has Entwine. So if you play 3 more, you get to do all of it. That seems really good, especially at instant speed. If it was sorcery, it'd be a little but the fact that you could, in the late game, that feels like a blowout card.
Okay. So let me first say Shaheen Sarani agrees with you.
Oh, well then he is a control player, so
he thinks the card is great. He thinks he says, I think his word was absurd.
Absurd. Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to come in and make a fool of myself and say, I don't think this card is so great.
Okay. And this coming from the zoo guy, aggro, green,
I don't know if I want to be billed as the zoo guy, I don't think so. I reject that.
So you're going on record that you don't like animals.
No, I am not going on record.
Okay, I have a PETA friend, so I was just making sure.
Okay, I'm glad you can let your Peter friend know that I love animals. I'm an animal lover. Okay, so Kaya's Guile. At first I looked at it, I said, "Wow, that card's great." Okay, look at all the stuff. But then I thought, well, what of this stuff does it matter? Like, opponent sacrifice creature. Okay, that's fine. But there's plenty of 2-mana edicts,
Well,
Sacrifice
and remember,
creature.
it's choose 2
Yes,
on
yes.
its baseline.
I do remember, but like, I feel like, okay, some of these are not worth a mana, like exile cards each opponent's library graveyard.
Huge.
It's
Huge.
strong. It's strong in certain matchups, but it itself, its effect is Tormod's Crypt. That's 0 mana.
For a permanent, okay, apples to oranges, but go on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like the economy of this card is a little bit off, I think. So, you play a white mana healing salve is like three gain 3 life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's worth a little bit more than a mana because it's gained 4 life, right? A 1/1 flying spirit is worth about a mana ish, you know. And so what I'm saying is like you pick 2, so let's say you go with the the strongest one, which is each opponent sacrifice a creature, that's worth about a mana and a half. Okay. Because most edicts have some kind of additional, stuff like you gain life or, the new one, Liliana, was a Triumph. If you have a Liliana Planeswalker, they discard a card,
Right.
stuff like this. So,
But before Liliana's Sacrifice or whatever it is, there were no edicts in Modern. So we got that, and then we just got in this set the old edict.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 edicts. So this adds one. So there's no other ones that have additional benefits. Liliana's is the best, but you have to have a 3 mana Liliana.
Yeah,
out
but
at
even
least,
like
right?
the other old edict, where there's other edicts that, like one has flashback. That's like a value, to
Right.
it.
Chainer's edict.
Chainer's edict. And so what I'm saying is like, I feel like this card is like some options you can pick. So let's say you go create a creature and gain 4 life. To me, that's a 2 mana spell.
I think the most common modals will be the first 2.
Right.
Now you said you compare that to Tormod's Crypt. I don't think it's anywhere in the same ballpark as Tormod's Crypt.
Okay.
Because if you have Tormod's Crypt on the battlefield,
right,
they're playing around it. They're so if you have it as far as in your hand, they're not being able to play around it as well, and that's going to be more beneficial to you than having a Tormod's Crypt on the battlefield.
Yeah, but Ravenous Trap is 0 mana and it exiles the graveyard.
And do you see anyone playing that?
Sometimes, yeah.
No times.
Yeah, sometimes they play.
In Modern, I know you want to pull in older formats and EDH,
which are the more powerful formats, but yeah, sure.
But this is called Modern Horizons. It's not called
we
EDH
already
Horizons.
We already established that this is not a strictly Modern set.
No, but it has to be on the power level of Modern.
Yeah. Well,
It's Bear Tribal.
I think that we agreed that some of the power level of this is a little bit, lacking, right? And so we wish they would have pushed some of this stuff. And I feel like Kaya's Guile, like to me, that feels like a 2 mana card. Like, I feel like, yeah, it would be pushed.
This sounds like Old Man on the Lawn right here.
No. I'm not trying to.
Back in my day, I only had to pay 2 mana for this effect.
I just think I think the card, it's like, it looks like a card they want to be pushed, but like, I feel like at 2 mana, it would be pushed. At 3 mana, it's like, okay,
What do you think of the Entwine?
That's the thing.
At 6 mana, do you think it's at 6 mana? Is it worth 6 mana to do all those things?
No, I don't think it's worth 6 mana to do all that. I think it's barely worth 5 mana to do all that.
Wow, you are adorable.
You get a 1/1, gain 4 life. Sacrifice a creature. I don't know, man.
These are all things Control decks want to do. They want to put a blocker on the battlefield. They want to get out of burn range. They want to get rid of the one threat that they have to worry about, and they want to get rid of the.
Okay, I prefaced this with Sarhi and Serrani said this card is absurd, and then I gave my true opinion of it.
It's true.
I did not say the card is bad. I just said that I feel that they should have shaved a mana off the front end. I feel like that would have made the card more pushed. And I don't feel like at the current mana cost, it's kind of like, okay, it's fine.
Okay. Usually I would let that just go and we would move on. We're going to drill this one home.
Okay.
So you're saying you would want this to be black-white, right?
Yes.
Okay. So every good edict is 2 mana, right?
Right.
Sacrifice a creature.
Yes.
So you're wanting for 2 mana to sacrifice a creature and do one of the other modes.
Yes, and this is why, because it's black and white.
Oh.
Okay, it's not black and colorless, it's black and white.
Wow. Words cannot express my disappointment right now. So
yeah, so there it is. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, moving on.
Who wouldn't want that though? Would you want that?
I mean, I don't personally because I don't play Esper, but I can't imagine Esper player not wanting that card.
No, but
at least in the 75.
Saying, who wouldn't want to shave a mana off that?
Who wouldn't want every card to be free?
I mean, well, I mean, I wouldn't because then Magic would not be a playable game. All right, more ninja hype. We have Ingenious Infiltrator, 2 and a blue and a black. You know, it'd be cool though if it was 3 mana. 1 blue and a black. No, I'm just joking. It's actually 2 mana because it's ninjutsu, blue and a black. So you can ninjutsu it into play. It's a 2/3, and whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, which is cool because it's like a Ninja of the Deep Hours, but it gives all your ninjas Ninja Deep Hours ability. So very neat. Nothing to say on that?
It's a ninja.
Thank you. Aldamri's Call, which is a tutor. Search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Shuffle your library. Green and a white.
2 mana. Too much.
Wow. Should it be 1 mana?
Yes.
So let me get this straight. You want this to be 1 mana and you put a creature in your hand?
To be playable.
You don't think like some like kind of like those decks that like typically Court of Calling decks or something like that would not want to run this? Like the what's the combo that Devoted Druid combo style deck would not want to run this?
Maybe. I honestly don't know. Because those are way out of my wheelhouse.
Okay.
But it just feels too much.
I feel like it could want to, but I could see what you're saying because your mana is pretty tight in those decks, and so it could be hard to squeeze in the 2 mana in a relevant time frame. So maybe.
So I think that leaves us with the 2 EDH cards. Am I correct?
No, well,
you got more?
There's the green Storm card. Storm gain 3 life.
It was hard for me to see that because it's in Japanese, I believe. So
it's a green and a colorless, and it's basically Storm gain 3 life. So instant speed too. So that's neat. I don't know, tech against Storm, whatever. So yeah, there's 2 other cards. I don't think both of them are EDH specifically. Like we'll just start with Kess, right? Dissident Mage. This actually saw play in Legacy.
Okay.
So I think if it's powerful enough for Legacy, it's probably powerful enough for Modern. It's 1 colorless, blue, black, and red, and then it has flying. It's a flying 3/4 human wizard. During each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. If a card is cast this way, when we put it into your graveyard, exile it instead.
Seems good.
Yeah, gives you like the Snapcaster ability.
It feels very Snapcaster.
Yeah, so not instant speed, which you love, but
Oh boy, do I love instant.
All right, tell me about Yawgmoth. Do you like this card?
I mean, it doesn't speak to me.
Okay.
Mono black, especially for EDH, I could never build a mono black deck. But we'll read it for you. It's 2 black for a legendary creature, human cleric. Protection from humans to 2/4. But you can pay 1 life and sacrifice another creature to put a -1/-1 counter on up to one target creature and draw a card. So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Then it has another ability of black, and discard a card to proliferate. It's probably good as a novice. I feel like I'm giving up a lot to do the abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm paying a life and sacrificing a creature to, I feel like the 1/1 counter isn't really negligible. You're doing it to draw a card.
Yeah.
So is drawing a card worth sacking a creature and paying a life? To me, no. To maybe someone who doesn't play blue, probably. And then to proliferate, costing a card and 2 black, I don't like that at all.
Okay.
But again, it's probably broken.
It's probably broken. So the biggest thing about this is that it is a free sacrifice outlet. So you can just sacrifice. Sometimes you just need to sacrifice creatures to get an engine going. You know, like if you have for example, a blood artist in play. And then you sacrifice a creature and, drain them with Blood Artist. And then there's ways to get combos going where you're just sacrificing a creature infinitely, And so, like, I think that would be really cool because you're drawing cards while you're sacrificing, which is awesome. And so having a free sacrifice outlet, really cool. That outlet letting you draw cards, insane. And then since you're drawing cards, you can always discard them to, proliferate. Not that proliferate is like the key thing. I think the key thing about this card is that it's a free sacrifice outlet, which is awesome.
What I do like about again, this set is great for the Magic lover,
right?
Because you're getting Yawgmoth, you're getting Urza, and you're getting Sarah.
Yeah,
3 iconic characters that I believe up until now have never had a card. Is that correct? I'm not going to count the Urza from Unstable. Some may, I won't. So from a lore factor, what do they call themselves?
Vorthos.
Vorthos. For the Vorthos player, this has got to be off the chain.
Off the chisane.
Now, I do want to give us a bonus card. There was a new spoil.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw it.
This just in.
It is Crashing Footfalls. For a sorcery, has no mana cost. Must be free.
Where did this
But
come
it has suspend 4 for a green. And then when it comes off of suspension, that brings back a lot of terrible memories. You got to create 2 4/4 green rhino creature tokens with trample. So would you on turn 1?
I don't know what this. Where do I see this?
Just refresh. I'm on Scryfall. That's where I go for my.
Oh, there it is.
It looks good. It's a rare. Everybody. So if you play that on turn 1, what is that, turn 5? Then you would get 2 4/4 trample tokens, but they wouldn't have haste, right? So you couldn't attack with them that turn. Seems like a good turn 1 play, perhaps. I don't know.
Is this is 0 mana, right? So you can play it with that blue enchantment.
Wait, what?
You can play this with the blue enchantment.
As foretold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Right?
Any suspend card's great, right?
Right. So you can just like make 8 mana, 8 power worth of guys with the blue enchantment.
Yep. Or with Electro Dominance or any of those other things.
That seems decent with those cards.
Yeah, but as far as suspend cards go, is that the suspend card you want to play?
No.
Or do you want to play Restore Balance?
Yeah, I don't think playing it fair, like let's suspend stuff. I don't think that is like.
Yeah. So suspend is just poop, right? You always want to cheat the suspend cards in.
Yeah, I think the cheating of suspend cards is where it's at.
Yeah.
I think we also missed. We didn't miss it. It's refreshed and it's gone. Okay. There was a card that looked really cool, but I think that they're not sure that it's real. So. It was removed from the spoiler, so we won't mention that one. But man, it did look freaking cool.
All right, that's all I see. Was there another card or topic that you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that we covered a lot of cards today, and I think the cast was really good. We went through some stuff. The only thing I would say that was probably not so great was the exchange about Kaya's guile, but that's just because I'm dumb. So, I think that's fine.
I mean, you know, who writes history? Is it the winner or the loser usually?
The winners, right? Isn't that what the saying is?
So don't worry, then I'll write the history for us.
Okay, write us a good history, Ben. Speaking of history, this cast is history because we've been here for an hour and 49 minutes. For those of you who are in the chat, we're going to hang out a little bit with you, or I am at least, and just catch up with you because you've been waiting patiently in the chat, and we appreciate that. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Squadron Talk.
Caw.
Wait, were those hawks? Or were those phoenixes?